it's both in city resources and of course here at your church. So there are people that are around that are wise and connected. If you feel like this is so overwhelming, I don't really know what to do, then definitely go encourage the person you're talking to and go with them and support them as you get help put together.
Great, thank you.
And my immediate reaction to that, in addition to what Michelle said, and you have to discern your relationship. I want to hold on to that relationship because that's a lifeline. And I might respond with something like, I want to hold on a secret, but I can't let you hurt yourself. And add to that, let's get help together. That's not betraying trust, that's helping the person because they've confided in you and they've signaled they need help.
Maybe we could kind of flip it to the other side for people who are themselves struggling with mental health. I know you had a list in your presentation of maybe different causes and different ways to treat it or to deal with the problem. And I know sometimes people may think, that there's spiritual warfare going on, or they maybe think that medication is not something that we should do. For someone who's struggling and looking at maybe why they're struggling and some of the possible ways that they can deal with it, what would you say to someone? Maybe first about like why they're struggling and where that comes from and how they should think about that. But then also, the many different ways that they can reach out and get help.
These are tough questions.
Sorry, I'm trying to. You guys have so many good questions, and I don't want to leave them unasked. So I'm trying to condense it and make it hard on them.
Yeah, there's over 50 that came in just on the forums, and I know there's been cards too. So I really appreciate you being open and wanting to talk about this because by talking about it is how we're going to help each other and help those who struggle. So I really commend you. I'm really encouraged to see that happen in an Asian church. I was going to poke at Jason and say, well, pastoral help discern is a spiritual thing. But we're complicated beings. The biological, the psychological, the medical, and the spiritual, you can't separate them. And so when things are happening, it can come from all of those sources at the same time in different degrees. And so address it on all fronts. Do get prayer. Do check your family history or extended family history or your life experiences to see if you had a spiritual experience where demonic or dark activity happened. So spiritual curses can be part of something that affected you, and pray that away. One other word I'll say is there are some Christians that believe mental illness, quote unquote, doesn't exist. It's only a spiritual problem, and they deny the value of medication and counseling and the physical aspects. I'm thinking as we're having this conversation that we believe that it's more than just a spiritual problem, but it's not any less than a spiritual problem. So address it in every dimension that you can, and when you get on that path to health and wellness, then we can rejoice in that. For me, my self-care is an ongoing effort. That's not to say healing is impossible, but it is to say that I'll do the due diligence to stay healthy, and then when and God should heal, it would take over a year to discern that. I can't just say, oh, I feel like I'm healed, because that might be my high mood swings speaking. And felt that sometimes. So it's a long-term process, and understand that we're holistic, complicated beings and address all of that.
Do you have maybe like just a few very concrete steps for someone who's struggling? Like if you're struggling with depression or maybe bipolar disorder, and you feel alone in that, you're not getting help presently. Maybe just like these, like do this and this and this, like some very concrete things that someone in that situation you would recommend that they do.
Yeah, the first step is to talk to someone.
Okay.
And start with a friend, or, well, either way, start with a friend or start with a quote-unquote professional. So start with Jason, or start with me, or someone that you're comfortable talking with. That's the point. Someone you're comfortable talking with, that you can trust, just comfortable talking with. And then hopefully someone that has some experience that can discern that with you. Because we all have blind spots. So I couldn't tell that I was struggling at times. But one of the things that I agreed and gave permission to my wife and son during my recovery, and even now, is if you notice anything unusual that I'm doing or saying or behaving, I give you permission to call me out and stop. One of the hardest part is in dealing with mental health conditions is the person, the subject, not willing to get help and resistant to self-care. So it's kind of like the first step of Alcoholics Anonymous: admit you need help. Admit you need help and they get it.
What would you say as far as in terms of like medication? I think some people have questions about medication and the effectiveness, or trying to figure out if they ought to take medication. Maybe parents trying to help a child.
I think medication is certainly one part of the holistic picture of healing. It does take some persistence. So after DJ was in the psych ward in February 2017, he had mentioned it took about 9 months for him to journey back to even just feeling kind of back to a new normal. And we went through a couple of psychiatrists. And so kind of just being realistic, it's going to take some time and some patience, I think, to get diagnosed well and to get the right mix of medications. And it can be used. Some people are just, they're resistant to medications for a host of reasons, previous bad experiences, maybe just mistrust. But in people that we know with mental illness, it can be used and used by God to be part of your holistic healing. So you just have to be persistent with it. And once DJ was able to get that right dosage, the right rhythm, it took a while, of course, to adjust for his body, his mind to get adjusted to that new medication, and be consistent with it has really helped him, just overall physically.
It's kind of crazy to take mind-altering medication. Mind-altering drugs, but it's legal. I'm on 3 medication currently. One's called Depakote, one's called Lexapro, and one's called Wellbutrin. So what it does is I have high and low mood swings. One takes the top down, one takes the bottom out, and then the other one kind of stabilizes in the middle, so it's a lower rate of high and down, highs and lows. 2 things that's hard about medication is, one, I don't like taking it, but for the sake of being healthy, I'll do it. It's like vitamins. Think of it that way. I'm on low dosage. I'm blessed that I don't have side effects. So the hardest part about medication is the side effects. And then secondly, the hardest part, or hardest can only be one, right? That's true. So 2 things that are really hard. One is the side effects, and then 2 is the individualizedness of the mental health condition. So each of us have a personal recipe for what health and wellness looks like. So that's why doctors can't figure out on 1 or 2 visits to get the right mix of medication that your body and your mind responds best to. And some of the medication takes a month or 2 months to kick in. So you need to find all the other tools available to you to stay healthy during that recovery time. So that's the spiritual support. That's eating well, sleeping well, walking, breathing, music, and all those other things while you wait for the medication to kick in.
Thank you. I wish we had more time, but our time is up. Before we finish, I just wanted to say that one of the things that I've learned from tonight is that mental health is something that's really hard to grasp. And, you know, DJ's story is his, but everyone has a different story. And, you know, a lot of the things that he's sharing with us, you know, I think are very applicable. And yet, you know, when we come across a friend, or maybe we've been thinking about ourselves, that his story isn't going to be my story, and the things that have helped him may be different than the things that helped me. And so, you know, I think I want to just communicate that as a church, at Bread of Life, we want to be committed to coming alongside any of the individuals who are within our community, or even people that we're in touch with that maybe aren't yet a part of the Bread of Life community, to say that, hey, we're going to walk alongside you through this, and to hear about what you are going through as an individual, and to talk about how we can help, and you know what it really looks like for you to be healthy. I really appreciate DJ and Michelle and Jeremiah coming to be with us tonight. And for me, like, I see this event here as really kind of an initial step to be able to talk about this subject more freely and openly, and for our church, and especially for our youth ministry, to be the kind of environment and community where people can come and feel safe and cared for, especially those who struggle with mental health. And so let's thank the Chuang family for being with us tonight. Before I ask DJ to pray for us, I'll invite you to join us in our dining room. We have a small snack for you to enjoy, and if you want to hang out and talk, maybe meet some people that you don't know, or meet people who you didn't realize would be here tonight. And I think the Chuang family will also be around for a little while if you have a specific question maybe that wasn't asked, and you kind of like to ask it in person. They'll be available to chat with you. So DJ, can you pray for us?
Okay. Let's pray. Lord, thank you for this evening. I'm so grateful that this church wants to invite you into all parts of our lives, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, socially, relationally, and to experience the abundant life that you do have for every one of us. You love us so much to the depths of our being, just as we are. We don't need to doubt that, even though our minds and our emotions might lie to us. The devil is accusing us for not being good enough or perfect, but the truth of the gospel is that we have no one to impress and nothing to prove. You created us to love us. May we learn what that is in community with one another as we hear each other's story, and help us to recognize where we need help, and to share that as a prayer request, as a conversation with a friend, with Pastor Jason, and the other pastors and leaders that are here in this church. Thank you so much that they're opening themselves up to journey with each and every one of us. We face stress and react to stress and anxiety in different ways. And it may not have to be a formal diagnosis, but we are here with each other. And that's the blessing of the body of Christ. So I commit them to you and pray that you will use this community to be a shining light to bring healing to Torrance and around the world. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Go ahead and